Keir Starmer is walking into one of the biggest political storms of his premiership. More than 2.1 million people have now signed a petition demanding he scraps plans for digital ID cards. It is one of the largest public petitions in years, and it exploded in numbers just days after the Prime Minister announced that the scheme would be introduced by 2029, making it mandatory for anyone who wants to work in the United Kingdom. So the question is simple: is this the future of a secure Britain or the beginning of state surveillance on a massive scale? The government insists these new IDs delivered through a mobile phone app will stop illegal immigration by preventing people without the right to work from finding jobs. But opponents are warning this is not about boats crossing the channel. It is about the government gaining unprecedented control over ordinary citizens. Should we believe the official line, or should we fear what comes next? The petition argues that no citizen should ever be forced to register with a state-controlled digital ID system, describing the plan as a step towards mass surveillance in digital control. And with more than 2.1 million signatures, already the pressure is becoming impossible to ignore. Petitions with 100,000 signatures are usually enough to trigger a parliamentary debate. So what will happen when the number is 20 times higher? Nigel Farage has entered the debate too. He calls the proposal an anti-British card writing, that Labour's plan will do nothing to stop illegal immigration, but will give the state new powers to control the people. Do you agree with Farage, or do you think this is nothing more than a modern solution for a modern challenge? At this point, let me remind you that England. Now 7 is here to guide you through the biggest debates shaping Britain. Subscribe now and join the discussion so you never miss a single development. But the controversy does not end there. Darren Jones, the chief secretary to the Prime Minister, revealed that the ID system could be used for far more than immigration checks. He described it as the bedrock of the modern state, the tool that could allow sweeping reforms in public services in years to come. And Keir Starmer himself told the Global Progress Action Summit that digital ID would show voters the immigration system is fair. Does this sound like fairness, or does it sound like more bureaucracy and control? Imagine your right to work, your access to services, your very identity tied to a digital card stored on your phone. Would you feel safer and more secure, or would you feel the state has its hand on your shoulder every single day? Critics argue the scheme is not about security, but about control. They say once a digital ID is introduced, its use will inevitably expand from work checks to healthcare to travel to every part of daily life support. For such fears is growing, and the petition numbers show that millions share those concerns, but others believe without a digital ID, Britain cannot tackle illegal immigration or modernize public services. Who do you think is right? The Labour government now finds itself in a dangerous position. On the one hand, it wants to prove it is tough on immigration and modern in its approach on the other. It risks alienating voters who fear state surveillance. Can Starmer and Reeves find a way to sell this idea without losing the trust of the public? Or is this destined to become Labour's next great political blunder? As the November budget approaches, this issue will not go away. It will grow louder and louder, and the stakes could not be higher. So let us put it to you. Would you support a digital ID if it promised stronger borders and more efficient services? Or would you reject it outright to protect privacy and freedom? Before we close, remember, your voice matters, England. Now 7 will continue to cover every twist in this debate, but we want to know what you think. Should Britain embrace the digital ID revolution or stop it before it starts? Share your thoughts below, and we will feature the best comments in our next video. And if you value honest coverage that keeps you ahead, then make sure you subscribe and like, because your support keeps us going. This report is based on coverage from BBC News, The Telegraph, and The Guardian.